Yeah, the
Okay,
Hurricanes.
Hurricanes. Okay, yeah.
Man, yeah, I mean, like, I'm from Jersey, so by necessity, I'm a Devils fan, but I haven't followed it since I was a kid. What was pissing me off last night was, dude, Knicks fans. You would think, bro, we had the youngest team in the playoffs, went to the second round. You know what it is? It's younger fans who have grown up on this super team free agency era that have completely, they don't understand that this isn't the NFL. Guys aren't 22, 23 when they come into the league. I mean, people start their NBA careers at 18. It takes 4, 5, 6 years to develop an NBA prospect. People are like, trade RJ Barrett? He's 22.
What?
Like, what? He's 22. I mean, Kawhi Leonard at 22, no one even knew who he was. Steph Curry at 22 had one playoff series win. I mean, people just are so insane about that. And I'm telling you, I think it's the super team free agency era that these younger fans grew up on. They think that you just like, here's a guy, now we win. It's just, it don't work like that.
It's that, and no, I know this from having a 12-year-old in my house. It's like they all think that it's part of NBA 2K where you can just trade 2 players for 1 player and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't mean anything. It's just there's a lot more that goes into it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so what's up? Good morning, guys. It's Saturday. We got 15 games to get through, and I'm trying to go to the driving range after this. I'm going on a Myrtle Beach trip next weekend. I haven't played golf in a year, so I don't want to go down there with my friends and be embarrassingly bad. so I'm going to hit a bucket of balls after this. So let's rifle through it. Last night when I made the video, I was struggling. I was like, yo, I really don't like anything. But actually, I woke up, looked at some line movement, and there's definitely a few I like here. So we'll see if me and Toast are on the same page on some of these. First one, still with the Yankees. With the Yankees last night. Still with the Yankees. I got it at plus 115, which is cool. I went last night it was at plus 118. So fine. Oh my God, do I not have my notes open again? Sorry about that. 1 second. All right. So like I get it. Some people are going to be hesitant to fade McClanahan. Completely get that. Considering the Rays are a perfect 8-0 in his starts. A minus 130, minus 135 price tag with a guy on the mound that the team hasn't lost any games he pitched. I get it. That being said, dude has not had success in Yankee Stadium. His only start in Yankee Stadium last year wasn't great. In fact, he's had 3 career starts in Yankee Stadium. Tampa's 1-2 in those games, and the one win, McClanahan only pitched 3 innings. So he's never been dominant in Yankee Stadium. And by the way, last season, the Yankees weren't the best lineup against lefties either. They still got to McClanahan last year. So I don't trust this dude as much as other people do in Yankee Stadium. Keep in mind, this is a division rivalry. There's always some extra elements added. It's not just, here are Shane McClanahan's numbers. Here are the Yankees' numbers against lefties. It's more complicated than that. These teams are familiar with each other. I always am down to back Nestor at home. Nestor Cortez has been good at home last season into this year. He's not really, if you remember last year, he had a dominant start to the season. Definitely not having that kind of start to this season. That being said, he's still 2-0 with a 3.13 ERA at home. So he's still reliable in Yankee Stadium. He was good in both of his home starts against Tampa last year. I just think the value's on the Yankees at plus money at home here. Oh, and the Rays have 10 losses on the season. 6 of them are in back-to-backs. So this team loses in bunches. They don't lose often, but when they lose, they often lose again the next day.
Yeah, as much I agree with you. I'm on the Yankees as well. I can understand. I was looking at this last night. After I watched your video after you had said they lose back to backs, that actually was a really good point of yours. After I went and looked back at that, that was a pretty sharp snag. But for me, as much as this Rays team has looked kind of decent and good all year, they're not like scoring. They're not scoring a ton of runs. I mean, only a few. Hello?
Yeah, I said, yep.
Oh,
I was agreeing with you.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I thought you said cut. My bad.
No.
They're not scoring a ton of runs. I mean, over the weekend in Baltimore, they had six runs. I understand that they've put up some numbers here in Yankee Stadium, but again, that was off some bullpen. Obviously, last night, King gives up a 3-run job. Look. Everybody in the world is going to be betting the Rays. Part of that's the contrarian in me to bet the Yankees and whatnot. It just takes a while for me to get to the Yankees. But one thing that Sauce didn't say that I will say that I start to look for this time of year as we get into that 40-game mark is that there's going to be some guys that we haven't seen a vintage performance. We haven't seen a vintage Nestor Cortez moment in Yankee Stadium or just really this year, as Sauce alluded to. Like, he really hasn't pitched fantastically well. And then like he said, the past home starts against Tampa, he's shown some really good stuff. So I just think that with everybody betting the Rays, everybody betting with Shane McClanahan, it's only a matter of time before he takes an L. I've watched almost every one of his starts. He does get into some situations where he gets 2 on, 1 out in situations. So it's there. It's possibly there. So I just think it's a good night to get plus money with the Yankees at home with Nestor.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely. Next game. Yeah, JD, Aaron Boone. Still can't believe he pulled Domingo Germán out of the game the other day. That was, what the hell? He was pitching fine. You want
to talk about bullpens? We can talk about the freaking Padres. You want to just skip to that game?
You better not be betting the Padres again. No, we'll get to that. Reds at Marlins. This sucks that I have to pass, man. Yo, I'm passing, so I'll let you go. But do you think there's truth that the Marlins overused Sandy last year, or is that just some bullshit?
I don't know.
He's not pitching well.
Yeah, but there's a lot of like I was sending you to, like that thing that I sent you about the Rays and how they have guys grip it and stuff like that. There's a lot of people that have a lot of opinions out there. I don't know. I mean, it would be easy to say that about Sandy, but I mean, at the same time, like you would assume that with the team like the Marlins that have so good with the arms. I mean, look at Yuri yesterday. I mean, Miami knows what they're doing with arms. So I just have a hard time believing that. I mean, he had a really good year. I mean, it's really hard to be a Cy Young winner 2 years in a row. So maybe he's just playing back down to what he really was. Maybe he just had a really, really good year last year. I don't know.
Yes. Lodolo to the comments. Lodolo is not starting. I made these graphics last night. So he's not starting.
So I don't have a play on the game. It would be Miami or pass for me, but I've been a Sandy guy since the first day I've tried to work with you, and even I can't pay that type of price for it. So
yeah, I mean, if it was last year, I'd be like, yo, give me the first 5 run line. I'll lay the minus 120. Like, it's just not.
And honestly, the Reds aren't as bad as people think they are. They are like very sneakily good. Like they can put some runs up. I mean, I mean, this is like super random, but even going back to the games that they played against the Braves a couple weeks ago, like they were in that game or winning that game late in all those games. So the Reds are just a little bit sneaky.
Someone likes a Nerfy in this one. Oh, Nerfies. I don't mess around with that Nerfy shit.
Dude, I haven't played a Nerfy since they became popular.
Yo, I like the I haven't really been getting into them, but I like the the first threes that people are getting into now because you can isolate the starters' numbers for the first time through the order. I think that's interesting. I've only played one this whole year and it hit, so I want to know. But like I would instead of a Nerfy, I would go like first 3 under 2.5 all day over a Nerfy.
I like betting them. I just have a hard time giving them out for people to follow. You know what I mean? Like
I just think they're always overpriced. Oh yeah. Well, because not everyone has a sports books that even offers it, so it's a tough bet. It's the same with the first 5 team total overs, and unders. I love those, but I tried not to give them out because not everyone can get them. So
I had a long time. They kind of hide those first 5 team totals now, especially on like DraftKings. They hide them.
Yeah, and there's
only look.
And I have 8 sports books on my phone, and sometimes there's only one book offering a first 5 team total, and it's just the price is off. But anyway, Mariners at Tigers. I passed on this last night. Still, I put Tigers or pass, but honestly, when I was looking this morning, I was kind of liking Seattle, so I'm just gonna put pass.
Yeah, I would be under or anything for me. I don't have a personal bet in this game, but if I had to bet it, I would bet under. It went from 9 to 8.5 last night. I'd still play it under. both of these guys. I mean, Bryce Miller is still really new to this league, but I maybe the bats for the Tigers are starting to cool down a little bit. I don't know. That was pretty irritating yesterday, watching them not be able to score.
Game was over in the fourth inning.
Yeah, man. I mean, again, that was just crazy. So we'll see I got to see it again. But this Bryce Miller kid has been really fantastic against Oakland and Houston. So one bad lineup, one good lineup. But either way, he's not walking guys. He's striking guys out. He's only given up 4 hits in 12 innings. So I would lead under just because I don't really trust the Seattle bats either. They scored 9 runs yesterday. It wouldn't surprise me for 1 second if this was a 3-2 ball game today. So under or pass for me.
Yeah. And last night, like I said, I was like, yo, got to play the Tigers at this price. They still are. I mean, they've been underpriced for 2 weeks. Then this morning, Bryce Miller, I don't know, is this dude legit? Hairston likes Mariners run line, but he goes, I'm taking Mariners one line just to watch it lose.
I agree with both of you guys. Like I do agree that Detroit's probably still undervalued at the same time, and I agree with him that if you're going to take Seattle, you probably got to take them on the run line because they're the away team, and
yeah,
Miller's been looking pretty damn.
And
good.
That price, you can't bet that money. It looks like we were. By the way, it looks like we were 1 year early on our Detroit Tigers prediction from last year.
I know. Oh,
we were
my
1
God.
year early. We were like, yo, this team's going to be around 500.
I've said that so many times to people. I was like, if only people understood.
Yeah,
we saw this before anybody else.
Yeah, just a year early, and if Casey Mize, man, whatever. We'll talk about.
You can't even don't get.
I can't believe that I'm doing this, but I am taking the Twins' first 5 run line here. It's so expensive for a Twins lineup that isn't hitting. But I almost like that because it kind of confirms my angle on it.
Not to interrupt you really quickly, but all I can tell you is that these first 5 run lines that are like that minus 120, 125 have been very good money makers for me this year. It's almost like, yeah, go ahead.
Right, they're expensive for a reason.
Exactly.
Basically, this is me calling the Cubs bluff right now. They scored 16 runs in their last 2 games. I'm calling bullshit. I'm not going to let 2 games erase what we've seen from the Cubs lineup for a goddamn month now. This team hasn't been hitting in a month. They started off the season hot, cooled off quick. Joe Ryan at home, one of the best starting pitchers in baseball, in my opinion. Probably top 5, top 10. I know we just gave up 8 hits to Cleveland the other night, but like I was just saying about, I don't even know who I was talking about, but I was just saying these division rivalries are weird, man, especially when it comes to starting pitchers. These guys know each other. So, like, I don't really care that he gave up 8 hits to Cleveland. This dude's been reliable for a majority of his starts this season, and I love him at home against the Cubs. I truly think the Cubs are going to have 0 runs after 5 innings. So, I think the Twins can cash this 1-0, truly. And Wes Nesky, we were making fun of him earlier in the year, but he's actually not terrible. But still, I expect the Twins to get at least a couple off him.
Yo, I tried to tell Beaver, Wes Nesky, and Waldichuk, which A's pushed the first 5 yesterday. Thank you very much. And they won the game.
I will not. No, you're not going to sell me on Big Ken. I'm not a big
The only thing I can really add to that is that, I don't trust the Cubs bats at all to save my life. Even last night, some of those I feel like those outs should have been gotten. I definitely under 7.5 screams me. I would have liked 8 a little bit better, but I definitely lean under. I would do first 5 under, actually. I think that Wisniewski's actually been pretty good. Obviously, last couple starts for Wisniewski against Miami, Washington, and the Padres, all 1 run or less in at least 5 innings. So, and then Joe Ryan does a lot of his work on the road this year. His last start, and only one of his last 5 starts has actually been at home, and that was against the Yankees, where he went 7 innings and only gave up a run. So I think this is a nice little bounce back spot for the Twins after that little bullpen blow up that just killed me yesterday.
Yeah, I agree. I like it. And like you said, these are cashing. They're expensive for a reason. And to answer your question, the Minnesota team total, I have it right here. You can get it at 3.5, but it's juiced as hell. You're more probably going to be better off playing it at 4.5, and your best bet is going to be Caesars or points bet. You can get it at plus 125 at 4.5. I wouldn't say I hate that, but like I said earlier, Wes Nesky really hasn't been terrible, and the Twins lineup showing a little bit of signs of life recently. They scored against the Padres in a couple clutch moments, but overall, the Twins lineup hasn't been the most reliable. So, if you want to play the over 4.5 at plus 125, be my guess, but I like this bet better. Next game. Braves at Blue Jays. Give me the Jays. Give me the motherfucking Jays. And I actually switched. I didn't really switch. I just like them both. Last night I said that I liked the Toronto first 5, and I still do. But this morning I was looking. The Blue Jays won 3-0 last night. Didn't use any of their main bullpen arms. Bing, so what the hell? Like, not to mention the the Braves bullpen and the Toronto bullpen. There's not a huge gap there. It's not like the Braves bullpen is elite and the Toronto all their arms are available. They have the starting pitching advantage here. Like you've heard me, Toes, you've heard us all say 100 times. Jose Barrios is trustable at home. He's got like a 0.75 ERA at home this year. Last year, he had a bad year last year. Still was solid at home. So you can just trust this guy at home. I'm down, and look at this was the deciding factor. This is what made me really like it. Check this out. Everyone's on Atlanta coming off that loss. Everyone you've ever met, your neighbor, your mailman, your UPS carrier, everyone you've ever met is betting the Braves here.
Hey, the Braves are plus money today, guys.
Coming off a loss?
Oh my God! Have you seen that Bryce Elder pitch?
So you're on Toronto too, right?
Hell yeah, bro. Look, listen, I got to give Bryce Elder credit what he's done.
He's been all right.
He's been very impressive to start the year. I honestly can say for a pitcher standpoint, it's not the easiest job to step in and fill a spot in a rotation with a team like the Braves. So dead honest, kudos to him. But a couple things. The teams that he's faced, Sauce pointed this out to me, but I'll repeat it. Boston, Miami twice, Kansas City, the Royals, and then Houston. So not really the murderer's row of lineups there. And then on top of that, if you look at his ERA, it's a 1.74, but his expected ERA is like 4.5 or something like that. I lost it in my notes, but it's in the 4s. So a huge difference from what's expected in his actual ERA. And then Barrios, on the other hand, another guy that's been starting a lot on the road. His last 2 starts at home, though, 7 innings, 4 hits, 0 runs, 9 strikeouts against the White Sox, and then 5 innings with just 4 hits against the Rays and 1 run as well. So you can look back and say that, Barrios got smacked up by Atlanta for 9 runs and 9 hits 3 years ago. Barrios is actually, you take out his Boston start, he's actually pitched extremely well over the last month against teams like Pittsburgh, the White Sox, the Rays, Houston, Angels. All those teams have pretty damn good lineups. And yes, the Angels have a decent lineup if you haven't been paying attention. So I'm all over the Jays here today.
Yeah, and what you said about Barrios, if you take out that Boston start, that was on the road, a righty in Fenway during their hot streak. Exactly. They were hitting everybody. Like Spencer Strider would have got rocked. Doesn't matter who. If you throw a righty in Fenway during that little 10-day stretch, they were giving up 5 runs. It was unfair. Next game. And by the way, there's a lot of people in the comments picking the Braves. We weren't making fun of you. Like, the Braves might win. we weren't making fun of you. We were just having some fun talking about how everyone's on the Braves. That wasn't. We didn't mean any disrespect.
Never personal.
Yeah,
it's never personal.
We didn't mean any disrespect by that.
If Sauce would have came out here and said the Braves, I would have done the same thing, probably even worse.
Exactly. Mets at Nats. So I backed off my bet. I'm still putting it on the screen, and this still would be my pick here. Nats. I last night I took Nats first 5. This morning when I first woke up, I switched to the Nats money line because Robertson threw like 40 pitches for the Mets last night, so he's not going to be available. So this is still my pick for this game. I doubt I actually placed this bet, though. In case you didn't watch last night's video, I'll run through my notes really quick. First of all, Trevor Williams has been pitching well. He had a rough start in Arizona, but his last 2 starts at home were solid. Now, I know you might look at those 2 starts and say, yo, Kyle, they were against the Cubs and the Guardians. How much better do you think this Mets lineup is than those 2 teams right now? Like, the Mets, in the last 2 weeks, the Mets are 25th in OPS against right-handed pitching. And you know, I understand if you're rolling with the angle that the Mets just saw Trevor Williams a couple weeks ago. They did, and they actually hit him a couple weeks ago. But overall, I don't trust the Mets bats right now. Hopefully the second half of the season we'll be humming a different tune. And by the way, if we want to play that angle, you want to know who else just saw the pitcher they're about to see today? Washington. And they hit off him Is it Lucchesi? Or Lucchesi?
Yeah, Lucchesi.
Lucchesi. So the Nats just saw Lucchesi. They scored 3 runs off him. The Nats just never score runs at home. That scares me a little bit. But it is a lefty. The Nats have been solid against lefties. They're 12th in OPS against lefties the last 2 weeks. I won't bet the Mets here. And there's a chance I might throw a few dollars on Washington, like before the game starts privately. That's the way I would go. But as of I didn't put it on today's ticket.
Yeah, I'm on the Nats as well. It'd be a half a unit play. Nothing big for me at plus like 130 or whatever it is.
Full game.
Yeah, please. I really can't add anything to what Sauce said. Just the fact that I think that the Nats are very similar to other teams, that they're kind of like the Tigers, that they're a little bit undervalued right now. Yesterday, I mean, with all the money in the world on them, I think they still won the first 5. They ended up losing the game. Again, that game was 2-3, so the Mets still aren't really scoring runs. I just think that the value's all there with this Nationals team. Yesterday, they were coming home from a West Coast road trip. So that even then, I mean, that's like a spot you would want to stay away from them. So now they're back at home with another day under their belt. Like I think that maybe the Mets caught them sleeping yesterday with some tired legs, but that's not going to happen today.
Yeah, agreed. Texas at Oakland. I went sharp here. If you watched last night's video, you already know I went first 5 under. It's just crazy if you did, like, forget all the notes, forget the numbers. If you just take a step back and say first 5 under in Texas, Oakland with John Gray versus JP Sears just sounds insane. But basically, I won't go through everything. I'll just summarize it. John Gray has excellent career numbers against these Oakland bats. Lifetime, they're all of the Athletics lineup combined. The lifetime's hitting just 190 off John Gray. John Gray was also awesome in his last start. He went into Seattle, blanked the Mariners, 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 8 strikeouts. That being said, Oakland's been hitting a little bit. Worries me, but it's still Oakland. And I think John Gray has a quality start. And then JP Sears, look, he doesn't have the best numbers against Texas career, but he's only started against them 3 times, and all 3 times were in Texas. His last 2 home starts have been solid this year. Another guy who blanked Seattle, 6 innings, no runs against Seattle. And then before that, he pitched a great game against the Mets at home. So I think if JP Sears can hold Texas, the 3 runs or less, this cash is. So I'll play it. It's at minus 108. I got it at first 5 under 4.5. It sounds crazy. I understand if you're not tailing this one, but that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I don't even think it's that crazy. I was thinking possibly a small lean to Oakland in the first 5 personally. Nothing. I couldn't actually end up getting there. But I was really trying to look to JP Sears at home has been very, like you pointed to, very solid. I mean, those numbers on the road against the Yankees and Angels aren't that great with 5 and 6 runs, but no runs in 6 innings against Seattle, 2 runs in 6 innings against the Mets. I mean, that's really solid. Texas, those Texas bats, I mean, honestly, I don't really, they can be scary at times, but they can also look dead in times for series at a time. I mean, if you go look at that Seattle series, They were 2-3, but they scored 4, 0, and 2. So pitching well as well. At the same time, I don't know how many times that Will Smith can save a game in that Texas bullpen. I think he's like a cat. He's only got like 9 lives, so 3 of them are gone. So he's got 6 left. So, but yeah, I lean Oakland first 5 here. As much as I respect both of them, and like you said, I think that there's not going to be very many runs. So getting a little bit of plus price on that home team is a little bit nice.
Nice. All right, cool. So we're kind of on the same page there. I thought that sounded crazy. I was like deciding before I recorded last night. I was like, am I about to say this publicly? This sounds kind of crazy. Am I going to look like an idiot? But
well, it's going to be like I think it's really going to be a super easy cash at like 2-1 or something like that. Or it's going to be like 7 runs. You're going to be like, yep, I'm an idiot. Yep. But I agree. It's the only way to look at it is under. Completely agree.
Cards at Boston. Okay, so listen, if you watch last night's video, I have changed teams and I switch sides, and I don't often do this. So if you're watching new to the channel, it might be annoying. Like, dude, last night he said Boston. I'm sorry. I do this like 2 or 3 times a season. If I give something out on YouTube, I usually stick to it. I'll either, if it changes, I'll either just pass or I'll switch the bet up. I'll switch from a money line to a team total or something. I like the Cardinals now. with Steven Matz. It's crazy. I'll put my pickup. It's Cardinals first 5 at plus money. I think I got it at plus 115. If it might be plus 110. Look at all this action coming in on Boston here. Jesus. Everyone's betting the Red Sox. Everyone. And it's just a combination of that, and it's only a matter of time before the Cardinals start hitting lefties. And Chris Sale, I don't know if you guys saw the highlights from his last start, but I was watching that game. Dude was slamming the baseball on his own head. He was slamming the baseball on his own head. I don't trust this dude's mental stability right now. I swear to God, he walked somebody, or something, got the pitch back and went, what, with the baseball on his own head on the mound in front of everybody. It was like, dude, someone get a mental health counselor out to the mound now. He hasn't pitched well this season. Keep in mind, the Cardinals were the best lineup in baseball against lefties last year. And yes, that was last year. This year it's been a completely different story. But I just feel like there's only a matter of time before this Cardinals lineup starts hitting lefties, and I don't trust Chris Sale. If Boston first 5 was at plus 115, I would probably look that way. But the fact that I'm getting plus 115, and I know Boston lineup's been going nuts recently. I've been all over it. I've been preaching it every day on YouTube. Almost all of that damage has been against right-handed pitching. Don't love Matz, but he is a lefty. So I'm down to take this shot at plus money.
Yeah, I'm just gonna continue to play the over with these Boston and when they're playing at home. Left-handed are them not hitting lefties as well, but they just continue to score runs. That's all they've been doing. Their last 10 games, 6, 7, 8, 11, 5, 7, 1, 3, 5, 6. So for me, it's Boston. It's at home. Give me Fenway Magic. I'm not taking the money line or not. Boston team total over 3.5. I'm sorry, over 4.5 at minus 135. I'm going to continue to play that until it lets me down. They average 6.5 runs a game in Fenway. So I just, again, this is more of a bet that I've just been continually to make, and it continues to cash for me. So Boston team total over 4.5.
A lot of mixed feelings in the comments. We got one guy saying over, one guy saying under. Harrison's on Boston.
Over, for sure, for me, if I had to make a choice.
Yeah. All right, next.
And it's at 10. It's at 7.5. It's 10 right now. It's at 10.5 some places. I think it was at 9.5 last night. So yeah.
Usually those high totals are high for a reason. I said Angels on YouTube, and I still like the Angels. I didn't actually put it on the ticket though. But I still like it. I wouldn't bet Cleveland. You know what? I'll rate Angels or pass because that's more accurate on how I feel about this game. I woke up and I was looking at it and just playing minus 125, minus 132 on the road against Cal Quantrill, who I have a soft spot for Cal Quantrill. I was like on his train. I think it was 2 seasons ago. And then he's been inconsistent and he's been a streaky starter, but I was looking at his last 2 starts and I got scared. I got scared off the Angels.
You should be scared.
You like Cleveland?
I love Cleveland today.
My God, but that lineup doesn't hit, bro. That lineup doesn't.
You're right.
Hit.
You know what? It doesn't hit. But you know what? When Cal Quantrill gets on the bump, it's win day. Since 2021, I mean, what is this team? 25-10 when Cal Quantrill starts. It's just, for me, I understand that Cal didn't look good to start the year. I think that the WBC might have thrown him a little bit where it did a lot of guys good. It might not have done Cal good. Maybe he needed to work some stuff out because his last 2 starts have been fantastic. His start against Detroit was really good. So he had a bad outing against Colorado. I really don't know how to explain that. That was at home. But his last time at home against a division rival that knows him, against the Twins, 7 innings. Only 1 hit, did have 3 walks, so we're going to have to clean that up. But pretty good history against the Angels. I mean, he's not really getting shelled or whatnot. So I think that getting Cleveland at home at plus money, I can't pass it up with Cal on the mound.
I could see you losing 1-0 in the 11th.
Oh, yeah.
lineup sucks.
It's so bad too. And you know what bothers me about them too is that people like to watch them play, and it's fun because they like take extra bases and stuff. But when they're losing and they try to go first to third and get thrown out on a pop fly or something, then you just get even more pissed off because you're like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah. They're a frustrating team to back for sure. All right, next game. Why are we talking? It's a Pittsburgh Pirates. You already know. You know what I'm saying here. You already know what it is. I actually bet this game twice. Pittsburgh team total under was at 3.5. Don't care. First 5 under 4.5. Do I need to go through the stats again on the Pittsburgh Pirates? If you've watched this channel in the last week, I've been saying it every day. Pirates haven't scored runs in forever. The lowest scoring team in baseball the last 2 weeks by far. That's like 90. Well, actually, like I think Cleveland's down there with them. But no, the Pirates lineup is completely dead. And I know we use that term all the time. This lineup's dead. This lineup's dead. But no, this lineup is really dead. It's really dead. The reason I went with added the first 5 under is I noticed that so Ronzi Contreras, he started off the season all right and then kind of fell off, and his last 2 starts weren't good, but I noticed that those 2 starts were against Toronto and Tampa. So I'm willing to give him a pass for those. And if you look at the couple starts before that, he was all right. So this is a Baltimore lineup that specializes in hitting left-handed pitching. So if Contreras holds the Orioles to 3 runs or less, which I think he will, first 5 under should also cash because the Pirates won't touch Tyler Wells. I mean, can I take team total under 0? I'm not going to touch Tyler Wells.
I'm on. I just did Baltimore and the under. Here, hold on. I can tell you what it is.
Like an SGP?
Yeah. Because I just continue to play them. It's like plus 200 or something like that.
What's the under at?
8.5. Okay. Just look. Ronzi Contreras, like Sauce touched on his last 2 starts, he's been hit up, but look at the teams that he's faced this season. Toronto, Tampa, the Dodgers, the Reds, the Cardinals, the Astros, and the Red Sox. So every single team that he faces has, a legitimate lineup essentially besides the Reds, and we've seen the Reds can be pretty damn decent too if you don't come to show up. And like Sauce talked about, Tyler Wells, don't really have to say much about him. He's been pitching good, but like Sauce said, those Pirates bats are just absolutely dead. The last 10 games, 1-1, 2-0, 2-1, 2-1, 3-3. And last night, somehow Connor Joe hit a home run in Baltimore. That shit was lucky as hell. And they still lost.
And they still stayed under their team total.
Yeah. So I'm not going to steal Sauce's angle with the team total unders, but that's probably by far the best angle is that team total under. But under 8.5 for sure if you made a play in this game. Under.
Yep. Next. KC at Brewers. I just passed. I obviously Greinke on the road definitely can't get there with Kansas City. They just lost last night, and I never really trust Adrian Hauser to begin with, so just a pass for me.
Yeah, I just kind of priced out. Not nearly the price. I'm definitely not laying a price with the Brewers right now, and not getting enough with the Royals to make it even worth my while. Not that I'm like trying to actively back Greinke on the road, but at the same time, Hauser's only made 1 start this year. Not that I'm trying to say that he's going to be bad today, but I just got to see more from a guy like you said that I don't had almost a 5 ERA last year, so I'm not really just trying to jump in and bet Adrian Hauser.
Right, I feel the same way. Next game, Padres and Dodgers.
I knew it was going to lose, but like I was at a point where like if I didn't bet the Padres and they won, I was so pissed off. But hey, at least I got like that commercial break in the 7th of hope.
Yeah.
Until Mookie and fucking Freddie stepped in the box.
Wasn't it Odor that had that hit too? Oh, no, he scored the run. He slid in.
Yeah, he pinch hit and he scored the run with Ha-Seong Kim.
Yep, Ha-Seong Kim. That was a dope slide too because he almost had him. He almost had him at the plate. It's a good throw. Wait, if it wasn't that the game? I watched a bunch of baseball games yesterday. Wasn't that the one where the only reason he tried to score was the left fielder fumble? Oh no, That was... what game was that? The only reason he tried to score was the left fielder fumbled it, and then they threw him out. And I was so pissed. It was the team I'm betting, and I can't... It was Texas. Yeah, he was... Oh, man, that was frustrating. Anyway, it has nothing to do with this game. Do I need to give a reason? The Dodgers are the godfathers of the Padres. They can't beat the Dodgers. To take it even further, Joe Musgrove can't beat the Dodgers. He wakes up in the middle of the night screaming, seeing the Dodgers logo. He's terrified of the Dodgers. Even when he pitches well, they still lose. On Sunday Night Baseball, Musgrove was great. Loss. I'm laying a full unit on the minus 150. I don't care about the juice. But I actually don't even know Urias's career numbers against the Padres, but I'm assuming they're pretty good.
They're very good.
Yeah. Urias at home shuts this lineup down. I like the Padres, just can't bet them against the Dodgers.
Yeah, Dodgers minus 1.5.
At home?
Always Dodgers minus 1.5. There's no question. Look at their game logs. They don't lose. They rather lose by 2 or lose outright or win by 2. It doesn't matter with the Dodgers.
That's still going on from last year?
Absolutely. It's not going. Trust me, I will be screaming this until the roof. Just look at the game logs, bro. Just look at them and you're going to be like, fuck, he's right. Damn it.
All right. Plus, what'd you get that? Plus 130? Do I have that right? Damn, that's so much better than minus 150.
As you're looking at the game logs, being like, "Yep."
No, I don't. I'll look later.
I'm kidding.
Oh yeah, Toast has seen. He's come to his senses, and he decided not to back the Padres again.
Honestly, what sucks too is that the books got me too, because if it's left or right-handed pitching that you want to fade the Dodgers, it's against lefties, and Snell and that's what bothered me too, is that Snell's going to get shit on, but he actually
wasn't bad. He wasn't bad.
I mean, he can't be walking the guys like that. That's what happens when you get in trouble, but he really wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Snell, I thought he was going to get in at the Whites. Hold on, it froze for a second. For some reason, it does this. Comes back in like 3 seconds. Come on now. Here we go. We're back. Sorry about that. So Houston at White Sox. Am I being punked here?
I don't know, dude.
Yeah, I'm betting the Astros. What the fuck is this? What are you, crazy? What are you, nuts? The White Sox? I got a plus 106. I'm guessing the angle. You know what? I'm not trying to. Let me just open up my notes. All right. So I know public's all over Houston here, but can you blame them? Honestly, I'm guessing odds makers just have a ton of faith in Dylan Cease. I don't know if they maybe have missed Dylan Cease's games this season. That's the only possible angle here for the White Sox is a starting pitching edge. Dylan Cease hasn't even been pitching well. And to make matters worse, he started off the season great. He's been falling off. Dylan Cease hasn't had a quality start, and by quality start, I mean a 50 or higher game score, since April 10th. That's over a month ago. Houston bats, they've been really bad, not going to lie. In the last 2 weeks, they're all the way down at 29th against righties. Cleveland is 30th, by the way. So they're 30th against lefties and righties. I just wanted to throw that in there. But they still found a way to win 3 straight games. And by the way, if we want to have a conversation about struggling bats, if we're going to talk about the Astros bats struggling, they're playing the White Sox, who we can officially put that lineup back in the I suck category. Chicago's lost 4 of the last 5 games. They scored just 5 runs in their last 3 games. And also, to take it further, do you remember when I was giving the White Sox bullpen props? It was about 2 weeks ago. I bought a White Sox hat. I was on the White Sox. That bullpen has completely fallen down. Just 28th in WOBA in the last 2 weeks. I mean, Astros have a better lineup, the better bullpen. The only advantage here for the White Sox is starting pitching, and I don't know how much of an advantage that is. Cease hasn't been good, so I don't know how you don't bet the Astros here.
I'm on the White Sox first 5 run line.
What?
Yeah, I'm a Dylan Cease believer. Has your TV been broken for the last 2 months? And in one of the spots that I've been a little bit successful in is when you back a pitcher after 2 or 3 bad starts. This is a big spot for Dylan Cease. He knows who he's facing. White Sox first 5 minus 0.5 at plus 100 for a half a unit. Understand how bad he's looked, but the last 2 times that he's faced Houston at home, he's given up 3 runs in 5 innings. Like I said, this is just a bet on Dylan Cease to show me what he really is. I can't, again, yes, he's been pretty bad at the same time. So the walks have been an issue. But again, I just think that Cease at home, again, yesterday was a bad spot for them coming home from a big long road trip. So now, again, I don't know. I understand that everybody's betting it's the White Sox for me. I know it sounds gross, I know, and I'm going to be pissed off.
Was there truth? I don't know where I saw this. I don't know if I saw this on Twitter. I saw something saying that Cease was really lucky last year. Is there truth to that? Like he had like one of those.
Sure.
I forget who told me that. I think it was Prop Beaver, actually. I'm pretty sure he said that Cease last year had was an expected ERA or whatever it was, where last year was an anomaly in his career.
It wouldn't shock me, though. I mean, he can really look bad at times. I mean, especially when he loses control and stuff like that. I mean, yeah.
Yep. Houston all day here. Give me the Stros. White Sox suck. I bought a hat. I'm throwing it out.
Throwing it out.
Phillies at Rockies. Rockies money line. Plus 138. I'm not crazy about it, but at plus 138, I feel like this is where the value is. I know the Rockies bit us in the ass last night. I can't believe Taijuan Walker dealt again, man. This dude is just defies logic in Coors Field. Anyway, so Ranger Suarez is on the mound for the Phillies. He was great on the road last year. And I'd be down to bet him on the road against a lineup like the Rockies. But not only is this his first start of the season, he hasn't pitched since the World Series. It's his first start of the season. And also, being good on the road is one thing, but being good at Coors Field is something completely different. The Rockies bats are not the Rockies bats against lefties that they were last year. If you remember, last year was dude, just don't back a lefty starter at Coors Field. It's not really the case this year. Rockies are just 18th against lefties in the last 2 weeks, so they're okay. But still, so I'm not saying that Colorado's absolutely gonna smack Suarez, but his first start in 6 months in Coors Field, I think they get at least 2 or 3 runs across on him. And on the other side, we got Ryan Feltner, who's been solid this year. Don't look at his numbers. He's been solid this year. He started off the season with 3 awful starts. He's actually been okay. I'm not saying he's great. He's been okay. Since those 3 starts, he's been pitching pretty well. And I'm not expecting Feltner to be perfect. I think he gives up 2 or 3 runs also. So right now you might be asking, well, Kyle, you said Suarez is going to give up 2 or 3 runs and Feltner is going to give up 2 or 3 runs. Why are you backing the Rockies? Well, 1, it's plus money at home. And 2, the bullpens. Philadelphia's bullpen is not only worse than the Rockies' bullpen, but Craig Kimbrell threw 21 pitches last night. He hasn't been used on back-to-back nights after throwing 20-plus pitches once this season. But more importantly, in the last 2 weeks, the Rockies' bullpen is 6th in WOBA. Phillies are down at 22nd. So I think we're looking at a wash in the first 5, and I think the Rockies have the significant edge in the second half of this game. Little scared of the Phillies heating up, but still, I don't think the Phillies are a great team. I think they're an above-average team, so I'm not scared of them. I like that the Phillies won last night. Even adds to it. Rockies coming off a loss. And to be honest, I think we're looking at kind of a coin flip game, maybe slightly leaning towards Colorado. And if you bet the plus 135, plus 138 teams in those situations, in the long run, you're going to turn a profit. So Rockies.
Yeah, can't really add much to that. I'm on the Rockies too, except for the fact that there's this stigma about betting the Rockies that they're bad, and they are bad, but over the last 10 games, they're 8-2. So I understand that the Mets are bad and Pittsburgh is dead, but they also smacked the hell out of Milwaukee 3 times at home. They beat Arizona at home, and scoring a crap ton of runs while doing it too. So Rockies are just one of those teams that seems to play better at home. Obviously, Coors Field, we all know the advantages. I still like them against lefties better, and like Sauce said, Suarez, was okay in his AAA start. I think he even gave up a dinger, but this Feltner kid has been really good. And he's already seen the Phillies this year on the road, and he went 5 2/3 and didn't give up a run. So, I mean, maybe that says to some people, like, take the Phillies because they've already seen him, but I don't really trust that. I don't really subscribe to that. Feltner's been really good at home this year against the Brewers lineup. He went 5 1/3, only gave up 2 runs against the Nationals lineup that we've seen hit. I mean, I think Sauce has talked about it on this channel. The Nationals are better on the road hitting, and he gave them only 5 innings, only gave up 3 runs against them as well. So I think that this number is kind of too good to pass up, so that kind of scares me just a little bit. But yeah, there's no way I can't bet the Rockies here.
Yeah, and to your point, I agree, because and I'm guilty of this. I say this all the time on YouTube. Like, oh, they just saw him. They just saw him 2 weeks ago. They saw him early in the season. Yo, fast forward to July, everyone's seen everybody. So it's like it's not really. I the only time where I think it's significant is maybe if they're pitching against them in back-to-back starts. Like, yo, they just saw him.
Yeah.
But I agree that that's an overrated angle, and I myself am guilty of overusing it and maybe overvaluing it. But yeah, both on the Rockies here. Damn, we're on the last game already. Oh, it's the Giants D-backs. God, why couldn't we end on a cool fucking game, man?
I know. What's the price on this one? I forgot.
Don't care. Arizona's still on a probationary period. Don't know. Pass.
Wow.
I'm not fading Zach Gallen. I'm not going to do that. But I'm also not going to. I love that. I love that, by the way. Last night they decided to hit. Oh, now you want to hit? Now you want to hit Arizona? Last night you decided to hit? Fucking dirtbags. Absolute pieces of shit. Prop Beaver was sucking their dicks. Well, he was all on them before the season, talking about how good they are. Makes me hate them even more. I can't take Arizona, man. No, I'm done backing them. Done.
Yeah, I'm not trying to beat down the door, but what I can tell you guys, what I did do, and that I sent out, Arizona, Minnesota, both for 5 money lines at plus 142 as a little parlay.
Okay. Parlay.
Zach Gallen, Joe Ryan. So Arizona money line, our first 5 money line, Minnesota first 5 money line comes back at a nice plus 140.
I actually like that.
So nothing crazy. It's not like trying to tell you it's a bet of the day or anything, just a half unit play. I think that both teams have pretty solid advantages through the first 5. I don't need to go in to tell you how good Zach Gallen's been. So
Gallen at home, Joe Ryan at home against bad lineups. Even though the Giants lineup is sneaky good against righties, but yeah, I could see that. All right, so let's move on to community parlay.
Good job hitting the Mets yesterday, though. Community, touche.
They also the one guy commented, I was making fun of him for taking the Reds. They fucking won. I had to apologize to the guy.
Did you watch that 5th inning?
No, I had it on one of the small TVs, so I wasn't really watching.
Oh my God! It was literally Will Myers lost a ball on the lights, so Reds are up 3-2. He loses the ball on the lights, so then that's a triple. And then I did see that. A wild pitch pass ball, and then Ashcraft bobbles the tag, and they called him safe. And then a Jazz Chisholm home run, and it kills my first 5.
The Jazz Chisholm home run was to right field. Yep, I remember to go up 4-3. I was watching that. Yep.
So I should have won both those bets. Damn it.
So Giants. By the way, guys, start Baltimore money line. We got it coming in. Orioles money line. I like that because they're playing the Pirates. The only way the Orioles lose is if they get shut out. Anyone else? Angle. Dodgers run line. Okay. We'll wait for 1 or 2 more. Rangers run line. You know what? The Rangers. I had the run line last night. I was so confident in the Rangers run line last night. And Twins first 5 money line. All right, so there's our community parlay. Let's add up the odds, see what we're working with here. So we got Orioles money line, Twins first 5 money line. What the hell is it? Orioles money line. Twins. First 5. Money line. Okay, what's next? Dodgers and Rangers run line. Dodgers run line. Rangers run line. 1044. Damn, these keep getting juicy. Community parlay at 1044. So here's the community parlay. Orioles money line. Dodgers -1.5. Rangers -1.5. Twins first 5 money line plus 1044. You got a hit parlay?
I do, actually. It's pretty juicy, and it's only 2 legs, same game. Soto, Muncy, both to get a hit. Soto's probably the hottest hitter on the planet right now. And then Max Muncy against Joe Musgrove is 9 for 23 with 3 doubles, 4 RBIs, and a 1.16 OPS. I'm sorry, 1.86 OPS. So to get both those guys just to get a hit in a game that I think over at plus 165.
Plus 165. All right.
On DraftKings.
So there's the hit parlay. The community parlay is on the screen. Just rewind it if you missed it. Let's have a great Saturday. Like I said, I'm going to going to the driving range for an hour right now, but I'll be back watching the games. Actually, most of the bets I like are later, so I actually don't like a ton of the early games today. So got a couple hours to chill. And no NBA today. So I'll put some NBA stuff up late tonight for tomorrow, same as I always do. Everyone enjoy your Saturday. We'll talk soon.
Hold on, just really quickly. Do the Lakers have any chance?
I think they win, honestly.
Oh, okay. All right. I was just curious. I'm a Lakers fan. I'm just curious.
I think they win the series. They're just Jokic in his game logs against Anthony Davis wasn't that dominant. Anthony Davis, I mean, I know everyone's obsessed with offense. You can make an argument that if you isolate the second half of the season from the All-Star break, that he's the best defensive player in basketball. He's been playing so good on defense, and he's a big reason. He's probably the main reason of why they won the series against Golden State. And if Golden State doesn't scare you, Denver shouldn't. I'll say that.
All right, enough said. All right,
guys, enjoy your Saturday, and I'll see you. I'll let you know. We might try to come live tomorrow at 11 a.m. We take Sundays off a lot, though, and a lot of the time the games suck Sunday, so I'll make a decision on that. If not, we'll be back Monday. So I'll let you know. I'll keep you posted.
I'm good to go either way, so just text me, bro.
Yeah, I'll keep you posted. Later, guys.
All right, bro. Later, guys.